Alright, I'm Wayne Headland, and I'm going to show you in this screencast a little bit of the basics of how to utilize widgets and what a widget is. So, of course, when you log into your WordPress website using the Risen theme, you'll be brought to a dashboard that looks something like this. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit about widgets. Now, a widget is something that you can use to add value to various pages of your website. And so, for example, right here I'm on a page of the website. It's called the Mission and Values page. And you'll notice there's a little sidebar over here that will let me navigate to other pages. This little sidebar right here is a widget. And similarly, if we browse to, my blog website, which is a totally different website, of course, you'll notice again different little widgets over here. This is just a text widget giving an introduction to my website for people who come. This is an image widget that I have put in there for an advertisement to let people know about my website services. I also have a widget that talks about the top posts that people are reading currently on my website, a widget that shows the categories of my pages, a widget that shows a search box, a widget that allows people to follow me on Twitter, and another widget that lets me do some unique advertising if I want to. All of these are different widgets that I can add or subtract from my website, and you have the freedom and ability to add those kinds of widgets over here as well. Additionally, with the Risen WordPress theme, you can add some widgets to the bottom portion of your front page. And of course, here's your slider. You've got some home boxes or feature boxes here. But then you'll notice there on your website, it probably says something like recent sermons or upcoming events. But whatever is showing right here, this is actually a widget. This is and this is. Both are unique widgets. So let me show you how to go to widgets and make some changes to them. You're going to go to your dashboard. You're going to browse over appearance and select the widgets hyperlink. That's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Now you'll notice off to the right is a bunch of different options, and these are the various sidebars that you have available to you on your WordPress website depending on the theme that you're using. In this particular theme with the Risen theme, there's a blog sidebar and a page sidebar, a home bottom left and right, sermon, gallery, events, etc. And of course you can always down drop on these to see what's inside each of them. Now, if your WordPress website was made by me, then you'll probably notice that the page sidebar is empty. And I'm not going to explain why, simply because that's more of an advanced navigation feature that I've added that I don't want to confuse you with right now. That being said, we do have, as we went back here, we went to the Mission and Values page, and we saw that there's a little bit of a widget right here. And I have created, and again, this is a little bit advanced creating the sidebars, but you can still add and subtract them. Right here, and About Us, where is it? Who We Are is actually what it's called. And you'll see a custom menu here that I have created called Who We Are Menu. And so I have created, and this right here, what I'm mousing over and dragging a little bit, is a widget. I've added this widget. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add a couple more widgets to this Who We Are section. We're going to come back over here and refresh our screen, and you'll be able to see how it's changed the widget area here. All right, so let's look at all of our options. We have an option here to add upcoming events, show upcoming or past events. So I'm going to drag this down here, and I'm going to put it on top of or above the custom menu. And different widgets will give you different options. In this particular case, it's going to say, what do I want it to be called? And I can change it to upcoming events if I want. I can say, what do I want to show, the date and the time, and maybe I want to show an excerpt if there is one. Do I want to show upcoming events or past events? Probably upcoming. And how many items do I want to show? Now, I happen to know right now with this test website, there's only one event in the website that's upcoming as a test. So we're not going to see 5, we're going to see only 1. But let's go ahead and go here to Missions and Values, refresh our screen, and watch what happens. Here we are, upcoming events, and you see it showing Tim Hawkins live. And then you see the navigation. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm going, wow, this looks a little funky. And the reason it looks funky is because I've got this nice banner advertising this widget, upcoming events, and then it just kind of magically just moves in to this area. The reason for that is because I need to come in here and update the custom menu and give it a title. So I just added you might also like. I'm going to save that. Let's go back to this widget and hit refresh, and I think this will look a little nicer. There we go. So now we've got a couple of widgets in there. Let's add one more widget just for fun. And I'm going to go ahead and add maybe the recent sermons widget. And take this, I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to put it up above upcoming events just so that you can see it as soon as we refresh our screen. And now let's go over to mission and values. Let's refresh our screen and see what happens. Okay, there it is. We have our recent sermons, and as you can see, it's showing 4 different sermons. That's all I have uploaded in this site. I can tell it to only show 3. Save that record, come back over here, refresh the screen again, and it will only show 3 of those. And so really, that's the basics for adding a widget to a sidebar. It's really quite easy. So let's just explore a little bit of some of the widgets that I've added here. The sermon sidebar has its own unique widget area. So let me come over here to media, is what it's called on this particular page. Yours might say messages or sermons. And I'm looking and it says sermon categories and sermon archive. So I look back over here and it looks like there's something called a categories or enhanced categories widget. And when I down drop on that, I can see that I selected the sermon categories as the focus of that widget, and here's the other information about that. Similarly, I have sermon archives. I like to add a search box at the bottom of every sidebar widget that I make and just say something like, you might also like. So I try to remember to do that whenever I can. We'll come over here and just update this sidebar widget and make sure we've done it right. And there it is, you might also like, and that's looking pretty good. All right, the last thing I just want to note to you, as I mentioned, the front page has a widget area as well, recent sermons and upcoming events. And so let's go ahead and mess around with that just to see what happens. And you'll notice that that's going to be the home bottom left and the home bottom right. Home bottom left is going to be our recent sermons. Again, going back here, there it is. And the home bottom right is going to be our upcoming events. So let's just play with this for just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and drag the upcoming events out. I just clicked on that and dragged it away and it disappeared. And so now I've got the home bottom right, of course, is empty. If I come over here and refresh my screen, it's going to look particularly empty, as if it needs some help there. So what can we add? And really, I've got a few options here. The nice thing about WordPress is there are hundreds of other plugins that you could install to allow you to add more things. But just for fun, I'm going to see what happens when I add this donations widget. It's asking for a donation. It's giving me a little bit of information. Please make a donation by clicking below. The button text is going to be make donation, and then it's giving me a chance to put a URL in there, which is going to hopefully link to the PayPal account or wherever it is where people can make a donation. Just so that I've got a link in here, I'm going to put in my website and click save, and then we'll go back and see what happened to the bottom right of our front page. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh this screen. And there we go. We got recent sermons, and now we've added a donation button. Please make a donation by clicking below. Let's see what happens when I click it. Boom. It opened up a new window and took you to my website. Now, I might make some updates to this. You know, I might change this to online giving, and maybe I would give some more instruction here. Please make a donation by clicking below. Let us know if you have problems. But again, I could change this to donate now, and I'm going to save all that, and we'll come back over here, and hopefully all those things will change properly when I refresh the screen. There it is, online giving, donate now, looking pretty good. Although I will say that the website is still looking mildly lopsided, a little empty space here. So I'm wondering what else I might be able to add that's available to me, at least right now. Perhaps I would like to add, let me think here, perhaps staff. So I'm going to go ahead and close that down drop on the home bottom right. Let's just throw ahead and throw the staff in here, and maybe we'll just do 3 staff and show photo and show position. Um, Maybe I would change this to our team instead of staff, and let's save that and see what happens. Okay, there it is, and we've got the whole website, recent sermons, online giving, our team. Now as I look at this, it seems again a little bit lopsided, and so I might come back in here and mess around with it a little bit more. Perhaps the our team should go before the online giving, and maybe just to kind of even things up, I'll just show the top 2 staff for our team. And let's go ahead and do that, and we'll come back over here and refresh the screen again. And as you can see, I tend to go just back and forth until I get it looking the way that I want it to look. And so I've updated the widgets on this page, and it's looking the way I want it to look. All right, so that's an introduction to widgets. Lets you know of a great tool that you can have to enhance your website and make it do what you want it to do. Let me just add one more minor thing. If you're using the Risen WordPress theme, you may be tempted to use this calendar, and you need to be very careful. This calendar is not your calendar of events. This is a calendar of your posts. If you want to show your events, you'll use the events widget right here, and you can learn more about that and other screencasts that we have available on our website. Thanks so much for watching.